Hi, Goddess. This is Andrea with You Are Mind, Body, Soul. It is a full moon today. I don't know when I'm actually going to post this video or who needs to hear this message, but I'm just going with these full moon vibrations. And I really just feel like I want to come on here and just share some words of encouragement for you. I know that some of you right now have very specific visions for your life. You have very specific life goals that you want to achieve. And this is something that's at the forefront of your consciousness each and every single day. And I just want to let you know that you are on the right track and that you should continue to do everything in your power and everything in your soul and in your heart to stay on that path. You can do it. These are words of encouragement. And as you move on your path and as you start to elevate and you start to grow and you start to level up and you start to gain more confidence, there will be people that are there to discourage you. There will be haters, but you stay focused because jealousy is a frequency that is essential for all of our growth and development. I actually want to talk a little bit about jealousy. There is nothing wrong with having the experience of jealousy in your heart. When we have jealousy, all that is just showing us. So imagine there's someone that has something that you feel like you don't currently have in your life, right? Let's say it's a celebrity that has a particular body, or it's a certain friend that has a particular lifestyle, and you look at this person and you're like, well, I feel some type of way about that. Or maybe you're not even being honest with yourself about that. I want you to, the next time you run across the feeling of envy or disliking someone for something that, or judging somebody's lifestyle or judging somebody's accomplishments, I want you to look at yourself and ask yourself, is there a part of me that wishes that I have what that person has? Right? Because if you do that and you start to look at yourself, there's a part of yourself that really wants that. And that part of yourself needs to be heard, needs to be seen. Because when we look at the parts of ourselves that we envy, that have envy and hold envy towards other people, we are allowing them to be seen. And if you ignore that voice and you just allow yourself to harbor hate in your heart, then you will never allow yourself to tune in with your real desires. And I'm here to tell you that you can live the life that you choose to live. I'm all about that goddess lifestyle and upholding that goddess vibration and that goddess frequency. Okay, this is your birthright as a sovereign being. And as the divine feminine, which is the community that I'm cultivating on this channel, I don't know who's going to hear this message or who is going to get to, but I know that whoever's watching it, this is for you. Okay. And whatever you desire, you have the absolute utmost ability to achieve that. Okay. And I'm not going to tell you that you have to work hard for it. You want to do your inner work and you want to be dedicated to your inner work, which is looking at those voices that say, no, this isn't something that I can have. So I'm just going to harbor contempt in my heart against other people. That's your inner work. Sit down and journal that out, because anything that you want, that you allow yourself to focus on and you allow yourself to zoom in on the vision of, is something that you can have as long as you lock in on those desires. So number one is acknowledging what it is you feel like you don't have. Because the truth is that we have everything that we already want. On the realm of infinite possibilities, everything that you already want exists. Okay, this is quantum physics, and the quantum realm and the infinite field of possibilities is solid scientific facts. Okay, this isn't a woo-woo thing. These are solid scientific facts. Okay, and one thing that I've realized is that as an alchemist, that whatever I put my focus on and intentions to, I'm able to achieve. I wanted to take a trip to Puerto Rico. I'm here. I wanted to be a published author. I wrote a book and I published it. And to be honest with you, I wasn't even expecting to be a published author as soon as I got published. I'll tell you a little story. So about a year ago, last spring, I actually got back into creating a vision board. So I hadn't actually created a vision board since it had been a few years since I did a vision board, actually since I moved out of Florida. So those of you that don't know, I was born and raised in Florida, and then I moved up into the Northeast. I kind of migrated through Philly and New York, and now I'm here in Connecticut, and Connecticut has really embraced me. I have a beautiful community that I'm surrounded with. I'm doing what I love for a living. I have the time and the space to create, to inspire, and to really take the time to hone in on the vision that I have for my life, right? But I had a dream board back in 2015, 2016, and there was a point where I kind of forgot about it, and I looked back on it, and everything that I had desired, I accomplished it. So fast forward last spring, I was really getting back into my manifestation work after a few years of kind of being a nomad and trying to figure out, what path I wanted for my life. I started to get super intentional about it last year. So I created a dream board, and on this dream board, I had becoming a published author. I had more travel. I had increasing my credit score, different things like that. And just about everything that I put on that board has come to fruition on some level. I'm trying to remember why I brought that up. I think my whole point is that when you know what you want, and I made a post on Instagram today talking about like knowing what you want and making a choice. When you make a choice, when you make a solid, unwavering choice about what you want, and you have the muscle of focus, the muscle of continuing to come back to that desire and feeding that desire. And there's very specific ways in which you can feed desire so that they actually manifest in the physical realm. And that's something that I'm going to be talking about in the near future. But feeding that desire and doing things like dream boards are so powerful, guys. I was not expecting to be a published author this soon, but the way that spirit and my ancestors worked in my life to get me published, like I was looking at taking the long route, like I have to do this, and then I have to do this, and then I have to give this away, and then I got to turn around and jump through a hoop of fire and do-si-do. Like there were all of these things that I thought in my logical ego mind that I had to do before I could become a published author. But because I held the desire for being published, and I showed up and I did the work and I asked the right questions, spirit kind of fast tracked that for me. Same thing with this trip. I just had to have the courage to go ahead and purchase the ticket, and everything else fell in line. So there are some desires that you already have access to, right? If you can think of it as like a timeline. And I'll talk more in detail about this later, but in life, we have multiple different timelines. Like we exist in multiple different realities or multiple different probable realities at once. And if you hone in on that and you make it your priority, then you can accomplish it, okay? And so on that path of leveling up and starting to see in the physical reality the things that you prayed about, the things that you journaled about, the things that you created your vision boards about, and you talk about with yourself and your spirit guides. Because everything that I do, I consult spirit with. I'm always journaling. I journal every day. And I talked about this in my 3 years of celibacy video, 3 things that I've learned in 3 years. And when you have the mindset of I allow myself to receive that in which I desire, everything shifts. So I just wanted to get on and have a ramble today, because I had an experience that really just kind of supercharged me, because this experience, and I sat down and I did some journaling work around this. This experience is something that I have experienced before. And as you grow, there was a small part of me that wanted to be acknowledged for something that I had accomplished. That's a very small part of me. We have to get out of the trap of needing permission. That's a big trap. Stop asking for permission to accomplish and to go after the things in which you desire. Okay. Nobody is here to live your life for you. If you want it, make it happen. Allow it to happen. Allow it to come into your life. Allow yourself to align with that vibration of what it is you want. So there was a small part of me that wanted to be acknowledged, but because I exist in my higher self so much, I was able to look down at that small part of me that didn't feel seen, that didn't feel noticed, that didn't feel validated. And I was like, oh, baby girl, it's okay. It's all right. We got this. You are leveling up. Okay. So yes, people are going to respond differently to you when you start to show up differently in this world. One of my favorite quotes is, be yourself and the world will adjust. Right. So because I've been celibate for the last 3 years, I've been solo. I've had this journey of inner work, inner reflection. I've kept very quiet about who I really am, and the mindset and the mental discipline, the emotional discipline, and this world that I cultivate on a day-to-day basis through my consistent goddess devotion. But now that I'm over my 3-year journey and I'm self-initiated, I've gone through multiple death and rebirth cycles. I'm, evolved out of the person that I used to be. And I'm very well connected with the person that I am becoming. There's a lot that I'm going to continue to share and that I want to share. And I hope that you feel inspired by this message to do you. Was there anything else I wanted to say? Yeah, guys, I just got like this energy that just came up. And, I'm working on my heart chakra right now. Tonight, I'm going to a cacao ceremony. So cacao ceremony is where you actually get like a strong medicinal dose of like pure chocolate. So it's kind of like extra strong hot chocolate, extra pure hot chocolate, and it just opens up your heart. So like my heart space is showing me these places where I feel sensitive, and where there's healing, where there's room for expansion and room for openness, just like this force that's just wanting me to expand, wanting me to share what I'm passionate about, wanting me to be inspirational, wanting me to open up my voice as well, because the energy moves up. The energy also moves down, but right now my energy is moving up. So I wanted to share that. I'm going to go ahead and pull a card. Let's see what we have. I'm going to pull a card for y'all. For those of you that don't know, I also read cards. I read tarot and I read oracle cards as well. This is an old school Doreen Virtue deck. It's like a flower oracle deck. It's a beautiful deck. So let me just pull a card for you guys to give you some wisdom, and I am on my second to last day out here in Puerto Rico. I'm about to go horseback riding. Oh, that was another thing that I wanted to talk about. It was the freedom, because what do horses represent? Spirit, ancestor, source. Can we get a card for the collective that's tuning into this message? Whether you're watching this message presently or in the future, thank you so much for tuning in. So another thing, horses, the symbology of horses is representative of freedom, right? And what am I talking about right now? I'm talking about the freedom of being who you truly desire, outside of the influence and outside of the perspective of other people's. When you allow yourself, I talk again about permission, when you give yourself permission to tune in with your heart's actual desires, and you stop thinking about, oh, well, I'm limited by this, or in my reality, I perceive this limitation, or I have to do this first, or I have to do that first. Again, like I was telling you with the process of being published, I created all of these barriers for myself when the truth of the matter was that I could have it now, right? So horses, the energy of horse represents freedom, and I'm hearing unbridled freedom, right? They move fast. I think about the wildness. I think about the sturdiness. I think about the progress and the breadth of movement that horses take. So if you allow your desires to take up space, right? If it's okay to be intimidated and to be afraid of your desires, allow that energy to take up space. Allow it to expand outside of you. So right now, take a breath. We're going to take 2 more breaths. And 1 more. And I want you to tune into a desire. You may have an image of it, or it may just be a feeling, right? Tune into that space that's right here, okay? And I want you to let that energy expand outside of you. Let it spread. And if you're struggling with allowing it to spread, I want you to put that desire on top of a horse and imagine that that horse is sending your desire out. Or maybe you imagine multiple horses sending your desires out into the realm of infinite potential, right? Tap into your goddess energy and channel that and allow that movement. You can do this meditation, quick meditation, while you're driving, while you're relaxing. You can rewind this video, watch it back, do it with me. That's just some medicine I wanted to share. So the cards that I have for you are past life healing. The forget-me-not. This situation has been triggered by one of your past lives. Heal the past and you bring healing to the present. And I will tell you that this is so true. I've been doing a lot of past life work in order to be here today in front of you, in order to have the courage today to come and to share my voice, to step out of the cave of the comfort of the coverage of restricting my desires and restricting my ability to see my fullest potential. But I did do past life work to heal that. And that's something that I will share with y'all in the future. I have actually a secret that I'm keeping, but I'm waiting for the right time to share it with you all. I'm so excited. But anyways, just know that I got you on the past life healing. So yeah, a lot of times the things that we encounter in our reality in the present day stem from things that occurred in our past lives. So just know that it's bigger than what you can actually see or touch or feel. And you always just want to be sending love to all of the parts of yourself, the small parts of yourself, the large parts of yourself for that healing. And then there's peer pressure. Don't let others coerce you into a decision you know in your heart what the right choice is. So some of y'all are dealing with, again, I was talking about in my previous video, in my other video, I don't know if I'm going to post which order I'm going to post it, but there's a video, the 3 years, 3 things I've learned in 3 years, where I talk about you are getting advice from your best friend or from somebody that you saw on TikTok, and you're getting advice about your soul's purpose, what you know your soul's calling is. Only you can answer that for yourself. And in order to answer that, you need to have a certain boundary. You need to separate yourself from this 3-dimensional reality. Like, you need to develop a self-care practice. I think it's in the self-care part of the video, a self-care practice where you are separating yourself from the influence of the world so that you can filter through all of that and hear the voice of your soul, right? Because your friends are only going to give you their perspective from what they've learned in their journey and in their life. But it's up to you to have the responsibility over yourself, to be motivated by yourself, to connect with your desires. And if you need help starting with this, you can check out my book, Exploring Your Divine Feminine Potential, a playbook for the awakening goddess, on Amazon Kindle. I'm going to try to tag it in the link below. You can start with those simple journaling exercises to tap into that. So be careful with what other people are telling you. When you're really connected with your higher self and your potential, your highest potential, and your real authentic desire, then you don't have to have a problem about doing things because someone else told you to. It's time for us to be autonomous, independent, and have the onus on over our lives. Okay, we are sovereign beings, we are goddesses, and we came here to expand and to evolve out of anybody's perception of what we came here to do. And then the last card is become the true you. So again, that authentic expression, it is the war wrath, whatever kind of flower that is, guys. I don't even know. But yeah, so that is all that I have for you. Please check me out on Instagram at Andrea Mind Body Soul. You can get on my email list, yourmindbodysoul@gmail.com. And please, again, check out my book on Amazon, Exploring Your Divine Feminine Potential. Also, I have one-on-one coaching where you can awaken and align your inner goddess. And I will see you soon. One love. Mwah.